Sarah. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Okay, so I'm actually going to change the question, so I'm going to be superpower. I'm going to be a super hero. And if I was a superhero, I would be the magic preservationist. And I would make sure my superpower would be the ability to save everything that we create and catalog it and make it fine.
Okay, go. Okay, so Becky, what was your childhood nickname?
Becky Bickle Pickle Lickle. That was one of them. I have an older name that my brother gives me, which is Narco Sleeping, because I can sleep anywhere, anytime. Otherwise, Becky. I didn't have a lot of nicknames. Becky Pickle Pickle Dickle, my neighbor called me because I love pickles. Thank you.
Tell me a phrase in a different language, and tell me what language is going to be first.
The language first is Maori, the language of my home. And the phrase is umarapiti, umarapiti, uma, 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 which means run rabbit, run rabbit, run, run, run.
Okay, so we are live and it's Team 1.
And hold on, what's my answer?
Team 1. Team 1, and the question is?
Okay, so Julie, who would you turn to in a zombie invasion and why?
I would turn to a vegetarian or community of vegetarians so that I know I would be safe, because even if the apocalypse grew, they don't consume human flesh.
If you could go back in time and meet with someone who's no longer with us, who would it be and why?
It would be Albert Einstein, and I want him to tell me the answer to the life universe, and everything.
But what superpower would you like to have, Mr. Julian Smith?
I would definitely have Vincent. Well,
Team 2.
You guys have the same questions?
We'll find out. All right. Okay, let's like to have Team 2.
Hi.
Sabotage.
Hi.
What's going? Go on. 4 minutes. Go on.
Julian Smith here.
What's your Twitter handle?
At Julian.
What's your blog?
Excuse me? I'm sorry, it's just I've never been this close to an iPhone before.
What's up your nose there?
Feels good. Oh.
Yeah.
Go
on.
I should have trimmed, I know, I realize. Oh, ow.
All right, excellent. That's
Very
quality.
helpful.
Team 2.
I promise.
Just like Wang Chung tonight, what action would your name be if it were a verb?
So my nickname is Beanie, and so if I were to beanie someone, it means to knee them in the ball twice, and I'll demonstrate right here.
Did you just knee him in the balls? Okay.
What was that?
Knee him in the balls?
Team 2. If you could go back in time and meet somebody, who would it be? Dove.
I would go back in time to meet my great-grandmother and try and snake in there before my grandfather. How cool would that be? The only human alive to be your own great-grandfather.
Thank you, Dove. If you could make bacon, since bacon is awesome, what is the most insane thing you would make with it to make it more awesome?
Well, I would make bacon Sputnik, construct a satellite out of bacon, shoot it into space, clearly, and then on re-entry, it would start to cook and get like all the fat would just congeal and just get grilled into this perfect bacon meteor, and then I would just stand on Earth and have it aimed directly into my mouth.
Love it. Thank you, Theo.
Why are the Bruins the Stanley Cup champions?
Don't ask me that.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be, Mr. Ed Saipetch?
My superpower that I would have would be to make anybody feel like whole or full and not empty or sad anymore at any given moment in time. So all the kids who are sad, who don't get enough for Christmas, anybody who's sad just in general, just be able to snap my fingers and make them feel all better all over. That's my superpower.
Now hug the camera. There's no hugging there. Alright.
30 seconds, right? Or 45?
Yeah. If there was a holiday in your honor, what would it be?
It would be Ninja Day.
I don't think I can hear you. Yeah, I'll just do this and I'll actually no, you can just it's actually better. Hold it. I know this is last time. If there was one holiday in your honor, what would you celebrate?
It'd be Ninja Days so we can hide from the universe.
Wait, I need a question to read.
Go ahead.
Hi. So my question is, since bacon is awesome, what is the most insane thing you would make with it? Well, as a completely unkosher Jew, and as a Redditor, I'm supposed to love bacon. But actually, I don't like bacon at all. So probably what I make with it is, you know, coverings for a hole in the ground or something to that effect. You know, some use for it that it was intended for, skin, to cover things up. Not for eating, because bacon is bad and not to be eaten, ever.
Oh my god. Why did we interview you for this one?
See?
Alright, so go ahead and state the question.
About zombies. About the zombies. So, I'm biased on the idea there's never been zombies, so we don't really know. So I figure it can't be that bad. I'm going to give it a shot. When you weigh the pros and cons, it's probably better than the alternative of being on the run and the one left out. So I wouldn't turn to anyone. I would embrace the idea of becoming a zombie and experience it for the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yeah, that's it.
So if you could go back in time and see the somebody who's no longer with us, who would be and why?
Team 3. I would go back about 6,000 years ago and see if I can find this guy right here, this guy Adam, and Eve, to see what's up, see if they're around. That would answer a lot of questions. I would see if they have belly buttons, and that would answer a lot of questions, take a big weight off my back, and that's what I would do. Thank you.
Spaghetti monster?
Yeah, if the spaghetti monster's there, oh my god, even better. All right, go.
Green team, interviewing John Abrams. John, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
It would be the power to turn invisible. But not just turn invisible. You would have to be naked to go invisible. Of course, because you can't turn your clothes invisible, that's ridiculous. But there's a catch, which is every time you blink, you become uninvisible for the duration of that blink. So you're walking around, you're invisible, nobody sees you, you blink, because you have to blink, and a naked guy appears in the blink of an eye, and people, they think they're crazy.
And is he also hairy?
He can be.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the person.
Okay, good. Great, thank you. Play you in a movie about your life.
Say George Clooney for sure. Nice.
What was your childhood nickname?
Satan. I'm busy.
If you were a Lucky Charms marshmallow, which one would it be and why?
This is hard. This was the worst idea ever. Why are we doing this? Who said marshmallow?
Big stars, yellow moon.
Hurry up.
Pick one and
Say
why?
something.
Stars. That's perfect. That's actually really
Rolling.
If you could go back in time and meet with someone who is no longer with us, who would it be and why?
That is so easy. Just so everybody knows, this is my halo because I'm just an angel of a person. And the angel of a person that I would definitely like to meet would be René Descartes, because at that point in time, it was such a great time for philosophical history, and the whole mind-body duality, which we experience every day here at Bitnorth, is something that he pioneered and drove, and it'd just be so great to ask him questions about that. So he's my hero. Love to meet René Descartes. That'd be great. Halo boy.
Shit, that's really
Get in
good.
there.
Oh, I just want to give you a hug. That's awesome. He told me to attack you, but that's
Tell me a phrase in a different language.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a phrase in Hebrew. Ani רוצה ללכת לשירותים. It means I would like to go to the washroom. And I used to have to say that at school every day if I wanted to go to the washroom.
Hey Eric, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
The ultimate superpower is the ability to instantly induce love between yourself and someone else, or between two third parties, because money can buy anything you want. So think of Batman or Tony Stark. They can buy whatever toys and have infinite power, except love. So love is like the trump card that buys everything else.
Are you talking about Donald Trump?
No.
Let me start again. Hey Elena, if you could go back in time and meet with someone who's no longer with us, who would it be and why?
I think I'd go back in time and meet I'd probably meet a caveman, because I've always been interested in figuring out how to survive on the most minimal way, and there's these like great bad things that you could do, like beat people down with, and now it's kind of gotten boring with these crazy weapons that just kill people like drones without even really kind of feeling the, you know, the violence, the pain. You really just kind of want to feel it, so I'd like to just like figure out the clubbing techniques of the caveman.
Awesome. Thanks. What was the worst thing about the worst boss you ever had?
The worst thing about the worst boss I ever had was that he was kind of, how do I put this, a self-loathing angry gay man. And he was sort of angry at me a lot, and I felt a certain kind of compassion for him, I suppose, and that like he resented me as being somebody who was overprivileged university student, and in a way I couldn't actually I sort of agreed with him. That's probably the worst thing about it, that in a way I actually had to agree with him, his assessment of me. But yeah, but I just didn't know why he was so angry all the time.
Who would you turn to in the event of a zombie outbreak, and why?
I would turn to a very good friend of mine named Simon Clark, who is currently doing an art installation project, which is to build tools for the zombie apocalypse. So the idea is, if he gets locked in, I believe, a Canadian Tire, how can he manufacture all the tools he'll need to survive?
What clubs were you a member of in high school? And are you still interested in any of the things, these same things?
I was part of my school's javelin catching club. It was a challenging time. I'm still interested in some of those things. I find the splinters a bit harder to bear at my age, and there's a lot of scar tissue still left from the high school years. But I do find that it enriched me in the way that I lead my life now. I'm a lot more comfortable around gated communities, and overall I think I'm a better person.
Hold on. If you go back in time and meet anyone that you would like to meet who's no longer with us, who would it be and why?
Okay, it would be one of those barbarians from Barbarian Invasions, where they're invading England and Spain and all those areas. Assuming that they wouldn't kill me, and there's a translator. Okay, because you don't want to meet one of those barbarians and then have them club you to death like a baby seal. That just wouldn't do. So we're like Vercingetorix or one of those funny named guys. I would want to meet them, have dinner with them, see what it's like. And they can't rape me either.
Ah, okay. But they could club you like an elk. Okay.
No, they can't club me and they can't rape me.
So, if you had one superpower, what would it be?
I would make it so that when you blew bubbles, everybody around those bubbles becomes super happy, and everybody floating on these cute little light fluffy clouds, because I feel like everybody should always be happy. So why not blow bubbles and make everybody happy around you?
Woohoo! Yeah, let's go.
When trick-or-treating as a kid, was there any candy that you hated to get?
The easy answer is that really disgusting molasses stuff, but the really disgusting chewy molasses stuff. But I'd have to say that the stuff with the needles in it was the worst.
With the needles in it?
Yeah, razor blades. It always hard to chew. My mom wouldn't sort through it. So
yeah, and all the blood, right?
That tasted great. It was more the needles, not the blood. The needles were just chewy.
Excellent. Thank you. So, like Wang Chung tonight, if your name were a verb, what would it be?
I want to say Liz Lemon, but in all honesty, it's boner. That's what my friends call me.
Boner?
Boner.
Do you want to explain that?
Well, okay, if I'm going to be really honest, actually, boner killer.
Boner killer. Oh, it gets better. All right.
That's the end of it. You can take it from there.